Now, I know you expect me to rage and scream and say Hillary belongs in jail. It's a phony email scandal. Period. The vast right-wing conspiracy was exposed. Nothing. Zero. Sorry to disappoint you. Let me tell you something. If there was something there, he would have indicted her. I know he hedged. He went in circles. I get it. He went in circles, and you think he was owned like Roberts and this and that. You know what? I'm not buying it anymore. So FBI Director James Comey goes through a list of her destruction of government records and her negligent handling of classified information. And then he says no recommendation. Don't prosecute her. So the question is, what was this about? Did Judicial Watch do this as a grandstanding event just to be in the news for the last number of years? You know, frankly, I think that some people owe us an apology. I think the number one person who owes us an apology is the guy at Judicial Watch for leading us on. That's number one. There was nothing here. I mean, if you had seen her sharing classified documents with a foreign government that cost us some issue of national security, or someone got killed in the CIA, okay, that's one. And what was here? You realize who you're listening to here? The most independent voice in the American media, Michael Savage. I call him like I see him. Don't expect me to sit here like a moron and start screaming about Hillary Clinton this, Hillary Clinton that. See, the issue is her policies, not the phony email scandal. This is all a distraction. It's all one seamless distraction from her policies of national destruction. That's what I would be focusing on, not this fake email scandal. I read the whole thing. We looked at some of the emails. There's nothing in them. We saw nothing there. So I could ask you what you think. We know that FBI Director James Comey made very strong claims about Hillary's emails, and then he decided not to indict. Now, he's an attorney. Let's not forget who Mr. Comey is. He's an attorney, and a top attorney. So, therefore, as an attorney, he knows never to take a case he can't win. He knows he could not win with any of these violations. What's very interesting to me is that he set legal precedent here for the rest of the country to engage in IT shenanigans and get away with it. That's what he just did here. If you are a highly placed individual in this country, forget the low life. I mean, the low people, the rest of us who have no power. But let's say you're someone of power in this country, or you work for a big agency. You basically can do anything with your emails now. You can't be prosecuted because a smart lawyer would cite this finding by Mr. Comey and get you off the hook. He just set precedent. It now means it's open season on doing what you want in any emails that you want to deal with. You want to send them to Al-Qaeda and then say they weren't classified when they weren't, but they were classified afterwards, and you weren't really sending them. You accidentally sent them. You thought you were sending them to Joe's coffee shop. You thought you were ordering a pizza. You didn't mean to do it. Come on. The whole thing's phony. I'm sick of it. Now, let's play a little of the sound and open up the lines. We'll get the bellyachers out there screaming that I'm wrong. They're surprised. Who owns me? I know what's coming. I could care less what you think about me. Because it's not about me. It's about the issue. The issue is there's nothing here. It's much ado about nothing. Period. End of story. I watched it all morning. I saw him. And by the way, I predicted over the weekend nothing would come of it. The few friends I have in the world that I talk to, they said, well, what do you think's going to happen? I said, nothing. It's predetermined she's gonna walk away scot-free. Number one, she's above the law. Number two, they're all afraid of her. And number three, they can't catch her because she's too smart. And she's surrounded by the smartest thieves in the world. They know what they're doing. It's like they did it, they didn't do it, they did it before they were classified, not after they were classified, and what they did was nothing. So FBI Director Comey gets up there, and he makes these claims that you have to listen to. He tries to cover his tracks in soundbite one, where he says that if you do it, you're going to be subject to penalties, but not her. Listen to this double talk in 01.
To be clear, this is not to suggest that in similar circumstances, a person who engaged in this activity would face no consequences.
Oh.
To the contrary, those individuals are often subject to security or administrative sanctions, but that's not what we're deciding now.
Why?
As a result, although the Department of Justice makes final decisions on matters like this, we are expressing to Justice our view that no charges are appropriate in this case.
Or he was reading a script. I heard it in the voice. That's all. What do you want me to say here? You want me to get crazy and start screaming, yelling? The earth is falling apart. Well, the earth is falling apart because of her. We should be focused on the Arab Spring. We should be focused on what she did to the world while she was Secretary of State. But no, we're talking about this nonsense. Again, much ado about nothing. Now, some character put out a thing on the statutes that Hillary violated. But if you look at them, you realize that she really didn't violate them. She knows the law better than the little guys who work for little websites. She's smarter than the guys who work for Breitbart. She's smarter than the guys who work for Daily Wire. She's smarter than the people who write for these blogs. She's got much more devious, much smarter people than you may imagine. She knows what the statutes are. Now, what was her intent? Who knows what her intent was? I don't know that she actually shared any state secrets. Do you? We looked at some of the emails. They're released. We have a website that published them. Virtually there's nothing on them. As, again, this is just smoke and mirrors. So when it happened this morning, my first tweet on my Facebook account and Twitter was, is the FBI chief taking a job at Goldman Sachs after exonerating Hillary? So a lot of you like that, and you responded in kind. Then about 10 minutes ago, I changed it to this. Much ado about nothing. A waste of time. It's her policies, not this phony email scandal that matters. I don't think the people like that. I think they'd rather tar and feather me than believe the truth. They want... See, the battle lines are drawn, and it's either you're right or you're wrong. If you care to comment, the phone number is 855-407-282. This is the Savage Nation. 855-400-SAVAGE. This is the Savage Nation. What do you have to say about it? Let's play a little sound right now. Clip 2.
I know there will be intense public debate in the wake of this recommendation, as there was throughout the investigation. What I can assure the American people is that this investigation was done honestly, competently, and independently. No outside influence of any kind was brought to bear. In looking back at our investigations into the mishandling or removal of classified information, we cannot find a case that would support bringing criminal charges on these facts. All the cases prosecuted involved some combination of clearly intentional and willful mishandling of classified information, or vast quantities of information exposed in such a way as to support an inference of intentional misconduct, or indications of disloyalty to the United States, or efforts to obstruct justice. We do not see those things here.
That's it. My friends, listen to what he just said. Listen to what he just said. Willful mishandling of classified information. Yes, she did that. But wait a minute, there's a caveat. Or vast quantities of information exposed in such a way as to support an inference of intentional misconduct or indications of disloyalty to the United States. I don't see any of that here. Sorry. I'm sorry to puncture your helium balloon. What are we getting excited over? The wrong thing. Instead of talking about her disastrous policies while Secretary of State, what her policies would do to this country should she become president, God forbid, we are now focusing on a losing case, and we're making a huge mistake. That's my opinion. Now, many of you are going to say Comey is wrong. They got him over a barrel. They're blackmailing him. I heard this before. How do we know any of that? What's the point of talking about it? Do I have faith in him anymore? No. No, not really. I have less faith in the government today than I did yesterday, and already it was at 0. So now it's less than 0. It's each man for himself. There's not 2 sets of laws in America. There are many sets of laws in America. And it all depends upon who you're connected to. As they say, it's not what you know, it's who you know, number 1, and how much money you have, number 2. If you have enough money, you can get away with not murder, but genocide. If you have enough money, you can get away with genocide and be invited to a White House state dinner. If you have more than enough money, you could run the White House after committing genocide. So what's new about this? What, you thought she was going to go to jail today? You thought they were going to march her out with handcuffs today? Let's play another one of them. Is it soundbite 2? Yeah.
I know there will be intense public debate in the wake of this recommendation, as there was throughout the investigation. What I can assure the American people is that this investigation was done honestly, competently, and independently. No outside influence of any kind was brought to bear.
Right. Bill Clinton visiting the plane with Stooge Lynch. Yeah, nothing. The Godfather went on the airplane with her, gave her a little scare. He gave her the job in 1998. She was an unknown lawyer in New York, a hack with the old clothing from Orchard Street. And they made her into some big lawyer in New York. He was the one who made her a big deal. A federalist or that. Now they made her attorney general. She's owned by the machine, the whole left-wing machine. So where does that leave us, we the people? It leaves us with nothing to hold on to. We had one division of government where we had a semblance of faith, in which we had a semblance of faith, the FBI. Now we have nothing. That's all. And that's because she didn't really commit a crime. Inference of intentional misconduct or indications of disloyalty to the United States. You hear? He didn't find that. Now, maybe the callers will say she did it and she should have been indicted and it's a cover-up. You may be right. But, ladies and gentlemen, what are we wasting our time for? It's past us now. If you can't invent, go ahead, make my day. Go ahead, make my day on the Savage Nation. What do you actually think went on here? I think it's a waste of time. It's a phony email scandal, and it only made her stronger. That's my last point, by the way. It made her much stronger than before. She's come out once again stronger than she went in, and she got a lot of independents now saying it was a witch hunt by the right wing, and I'm going to vote for her. That's what just happened. So ask yourself which side all of these attackers are working for. They should have known in advance what they were doing. And I'll tell you again, no lawyer takes a case he thinks he can't win. You don't take a case unless you think you can win it. You don't enter a bar fight unless you think you can win. You don't enter an engagement like this unless you think you can win. So if they knew they couldn't win, meaning they knew they were going to lose, what'd they do it for? For 15 minutes of fame? To appear on a television show? Or because they're really working for the other side? You think about it and then call me. I'll be back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com, the only company I trust to protect my wealth and financial future. Call 1-800-289-2646. Let's play another Comey clip and get the people calling in the peanut gallery. And I'm sure many people are just freaking out saying, how could Savage take that position? The answer is simple. I'm an independent. I don't work for Donald Trump. I don't work for the Republican Party. I work for what I think to be is the clear truth, the plain truth. Now, I know that there are codes, U.S. laws, 18 U.S.C., paragraph 1924, which states that any employee of the United States who, quote, knowingly removes classified documents or materials without authority, blah, blah, blah. The emphasis is on classified documents. She already said they were not classified at the time she moved them to a private server. So I think what you're doing here is you're praying that you know more, and you can blog that you know more. Your outrage will sell another book or whatever. My friends, you're barking up the wrong tree. It's over. And I think that this is a conspiracy of the worst kind because it got us nowhere again. I remember the hearing with that guy Gowdy. He walked away looking like a junior league lawyer who was beaten to death by Hillary. She's 10 times smarter than any of them. 10 times smarter than all of them put together. I only wish Hillary was on our side. I only wish Hillary was on the side of America's best interests. I only wish Hillary really wanted to destroy ISIS instead of sending them weapons, as she apparently did from Libya, with the ambassador dying as a result. I only wish that she wanted to stop the flood of illegal aliens into America. I only wish that she wanted to stop the social pollution in America. I only wish she wanted to support our borders, language, and culture. Man, what an ally we would have. She'd be the Iron Lady that America needs to save us. Unfortunately, she isn't that woman. She has no such desires. She has a desire to completely eradicate our borders, garble our language, and decimate our culture. And I have a fear she's going to win. And the reason I say that, I mean, let's cut right to the chase here. Everyone listening to this show is hanging on a lot of hope that Trump can win, and he still might win. But what I've seen happen over the last short period of time indicates that's not going to happen. And this is not the final nail in the coffin, because anything can happen between now and the general election.